So let's see what is the actual difference between populations and sample, and why these things are important in the probability and statistics, in the world of probability and statistics. And this is the, in the statistics, this is the fundament, one of the fundamental concepts, the populations and the samples. So let's see these things when examples. So suppose let's see, we have find we have find the average height of a human. We are interested to find the average height of a human in the whole world. Suppose let's see, we have taken the essay, we have interest to, this is our data set. So these data sets that we have interest to find, that we have interest from this data set, this is the set of all the population, set of all the people in the world. This is the sample set of all the people in the world. Like that. Very simple. The set of all the people in our world. Okay. This is the, and this thing, and our job is, we have to find, our main job is, we have to estimate the average height of a human. Our job is estimate the average height of a human. Okay, in the human species, we have find its estimated height. What is actually its estimated height? That we have find from these data sets, and we have known that. And the estimations or average or simple, its things are called the mean. If you just apply these data sets, just just apply these data sets, so we have to find this first sum, and we have to sum all the height of the individual people in our world. And in our world, if you think, in our world there have approx 7 billion people in our world. 7 billion. I is equals to 7 billion. We have to first sum up all the individual heights, and then we have to find its mean. So we have to divide this by the 7 million. And this will be actually our mean of our whole population. And this, if you just count individual thing or individual people, so this thing to find all the height of all the people, this is impossible, totally impossible things to find all the height of the individual people. These things are many time taking matter, many resources, we need some many resources, and mainly these things are totally impossible. But how to find these things, how to find the average height of a human in our planet? So let's see. So these things are this mu, that is that we have to interested to estimate the height of a human. This mu means, if you consider all the whole the population, this mean we will call the mean of the population. Mean of the population, this mu is called, and the whole set are called the population set. This set is called the population set. Okay. Now, to find this, we have to randomly pick a sample from this population. We have to randomly pick a sample. So let's take, we have randomly picked this sample from this population. We have randomly picked this sample. So these things are called the sample. Suppose let's take this size of the sample is, this is the sample. This is the sample of size 1000 people. In the whole 7 million people, so we have taken the only 1000 people as randomly. The thing is randomly sample of the size 100. If we taken all the people randomly, then these things are called the random sample. Then these things are called the random samples. I think you have understand. And now this is the sample. This is the small subset. This is the sample, the subset of. This is the subset of the population. This is the subset of the populations. Okay, this is a sample. Now we can easily, because it is a small set and this is a small subset of the randomly picked points from our populations, and now here we can easily find its mean. So we can easily estimates of the mean of this sample. We can easily doing these jobs, and there is not a huge task, but to find the mean of the whole population, this is the very easy hard task, very hard task and time taking method. This is totally impossible to find. So this is totally impossible. This is totally impossible, but we can easily do these jobs. So to find these things, how we will doing these jobs? We have to first find the individual height of the age population observations. This point, the age peoples are in machine learning are called the observations, and the points on the sample on these samples are called the observations of the samples, and these points are outside of the whole point, means the whole points are the observations of the population. Okay, and so to find the mean of these per samples, we have to find the individual height. First we have to find the individual height of the populations, that is I is equals to 1 to thousands, I is equals to 1 to 1000. So to find the mean of the sample that is taken randomly from the size of 1000 peoples, we have to find the height of the individual peoples of this 1000, and then we have to find its mean by dividing by thousands, and this mean is called the age test. These age tests are simple, the mean of a sample. These age tests are called the mean of a sample. These things are mean of a sample. Okay, I think you understand. If you, instead of using hi, if I am using the xi here, then I am writing these things x test. Okay, both the things. Just I am using the notations. So these things are called the height estimation height of it. These things. These things are called the height of my sample. These things are called the height of my sample. And the thing that we have used, the sample mean that we have used to estimate the average height of the populations, that things are called the property or statistics. That thing. So why this chapter is called the statistics? Because we have using this sampled mean. We have using this thing means the mean of the sample. We have using the sample mean to estimate the populations. We will see in the next part of the lecture how to use the sample means to find the estimations of the populations. We will see these things, but because of these regions, because of simple these regions, these things are called the statistics. These things are called the statistic statistics statistics, because here we use the sample mean to estimate the population mean. Because of this, these things are called the statistics. Now the question is the how will be the proper size of the samples? Suppose in our populations, in these examples, in our population, the population size is 7 billion. But how much the accurate size of the samples to estimate these things? So the questions is, we will see these things in the next part of the video. What will be the proper sample size and how to estimate and what kind of technique to find the samples. So there are various kind of techniques. Don't worry about this in these lectures. We will see this thing in next part of the lectures. But the questions is, what should be the proper size of the sample? So just say these things. If we increase the sample, if we increase the sample, suppose I am taking this sample. Suppose I am taking this sample. It may be possible. So the question, just see this thing. If we increase the sample size, then the sample is approximately equals to populations. So if we as our sample size increases, then our sample mean tends to our population mean. This is the sample mean. And this is the population mean. This is the population mean. If we have increased our sample size, then our sample means tends to our population means. Okay. So the if you just write these things mathematically, so limit as our sample tends to our population, so our sample mean is approximately equals to. So as sample increases to our population, then the limit of the sample means tends to our population. This is the sample relations. This is the sample relation, sample mean and the population. When using these definitions, we will see how to find a right sample size as our requirement. This is the main thing. Okay, that's things we will see in the next part of the lectures. But I think you will understand the concept of the sample, the difference of the sample and the populations, and why this concept, why this sample concept actually needed in the world of probability and statistics, and how actually because of some time taking to because of some resources to find the estimate the populations, we need huge amount of time, we need huge amount of resources. So to avoid such kind of things, we need the concept of sample to estimate the the statistics parameter of our data sets. That's the main reason. So because of these simple reasons, we called this chapter, we called these topics the statistics, because of this reason, only because of this. Okay, so this is very interesting and very useful in the world of machine learning. We will see these things in the next part of the lecture.